Nature and property of fluids, the bridge between spirit and matter. Kardec teaches that the universal fluid is the primal element of all creation. It is the point of contact between the material world and the spiritual world, the primordial cosmic substance that, under different states and degrees of purity, gives rise to everything that exists. Dense matter is merely the condensation of this fluid, and the spirit acts upon it as a sculptor upon marble, shaping forms, phenomena, and even feelings. The universal fluid is, therefore, the vehicle of divine thought and the instrument of spiritual wills. Through it, God acts upon the universe. Through it, spirits influence the material world and human beings. Nothing occurs outside this network of subtle energies that interconnects all levels of existence. It is the cosmic plasma of life, described by spiritual science over a century ago, and which modern physics is beginning to recognize in the theories of quantum fields and vacuum energy. Quantum physics reveals that the universe is not made up of solid particles, but of vibrating fields and subtle energies that interpenetrate each other. Matter is simply condensed energy at different frequencies. This view is a scientific confirmation of what Kardec called the universal fluid, a fundamental substance that permeates everything and from which everything derives. What was previously considered metaphysical now finds analogy in the laws of quantum energy and the unified fields of contemporary physics. Kardec teaches that spirits shape and manipulate these fluids through the force of thought. Thought is a vibratory emission that imprints form and direction onto the fluid, like a magnet that orders iron shavings. Thus, each feeling, each will, each idea creates a real modification in the subtle fields that surround us. Hence the moral and spiritual importance of thoughts. They build the environment in which we live, both in the material and spiritual worlds. Neuroscience and the physics of consciousness today show that thought is a measurable form of energy. Brainwaves and electromagnetic fields interact with the environment, affecting the physiology of the body and the behavior of people around us. These studies echo the fluidic laws described by Kardec, who already taught that the spirit is the cause and the body, the effect. Everything we think and feel projects vibrations, attracting fluids in harmony with our inner nature. Spiritual fluids vary in purity and density. In elevated spirits, they are subtle, luminous, and regenerative. In lower spirits, they are heavy, dark, and disturbing. Therefore, each creature carries around an atmospheric fluidic aura corresponding to its moral state. This aura, known today in bioelectrography and bioplasm fields, is the scientific translation of the perispirit described by Kardec, the fluidic body that surrounds and connects the spirit to the physical body. Energy biology also confirms the existence of subtle fields that maintain the vital balance of organisms. The human body is crossed by electromagnetic currents, biochemical impulses, and subtle waves that reflect mental and emotional states. Spiritual and therapeutic practices, such as prayer, passes, magnetism, and meditation, act precisely on these fluids, purifying and rebalancing the being. Kardec clarifies that miracles attributed to faith or saints are nothing more than the unconscious use of the properties of fluids. Faith, when sincere, intensifies willpower and channels spiritual energy in an orderly manner, producing real effects. But everything occurs within divine laws, natural, eternal, and universal laws. Nothing is supernatural. It is the spirit acting with knowledge and harmony on the fluid that animates life. Modern astrophysics goes even further. She demonstrates that space is not empty. It is an ocean of energy, a dynamic fabric where what scientists call the quantum field of the vacuum vibrates. This invisible energy sustains particles and atoms, uniting all things in the cosmos. It is a remarkably close image to Kardec's description of the universal cosmic fluid, the divine breath that fills infinity. Thus, understanding the nature and properties of fluids is understanding God's language in matter. The universe is a vast spiritual organism, and the universal fluid is its nervous system. thought is the impulse that moves it, and love is the force that balances it. Nothing exists outside this sublime chain that links the Creator to creation. Spiritism teaches us that mastering the fluids is learning to direct thought with purity and high intention. Each prayer, each act of kindness, each act of charity is a fluidic radiation that heals, elevates, and transforms the environment. The true spiritual power is not in the phenomenon, but in morality. The higher spirits act on the fluids as the wise do on the elements of the earth, with gentleness, precision, and love. If this reflection brought you understanding and peace, share it. Because understanding the nature and properties of fluids is realizing that we live immersed in divine love, and that thought is the brush with which the Spirit paints the universe.